Trump orders review of U.S. visa holders' records. 55 million immigrants face deportation risk. The Trump administration has launched a far-reaching initiative that places all foreign nationals with valid visas under constant scrutiny. Officials confirmed that more than 55 million individuals currently holding U.S. visas are now subject to a continuous vetting system designed to detect violations or disqualifying behavior at any time. If a breach is discovered, the government can revoke the visa immediately, leaving those inside the country vulnerable to deportation. The State Department described the program as one of the most significant expansions of immigration oversight in recent history. A spokesperson explained that visa revocations will occur whenever evidence arises suggesting ineligibility, ranging from overstays and criminal activity to threats against public safety or suspected ties to terrorist organizations. Monitoring beyond the initial visa process. Previously, immigration authorities largely conducted background checks during the initial visa application stage. Once approved, visa holders were generally left alone unless they committed a major crime or overstayed their permitted duration. This permanent review framework means that visa holders are never truly free from government oversight. Authorities believe this change will strengthen national security by making it more difficult for individuals to exploit gaps in the system. Expanding the definition of risk. Alongside the new monitoring measures, the administration has broadened the criteria for determining who should be considered ineligible for U.S. immigration benefits. According to guidance released by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, officials will now examine online activity, including social media accounts, to determine whether applicants or current visa holders harbor anti-American sentiments. Matthew Tragesser, a USCIS spokesperson, emphasized that immigration benefits are a privilege, not a right. He stated that those who publicly express hostility toward the United States or promote extremist ideologies should not be allowed to live or work in the country. Online activity under the microscope. The increased focus on social media activity has raised concerns among civil liberties advocates. Immigration officials have confirmed that posts supporting terrorism, spreading anti-Semitic views, or promoting violence will be considered grounds for denial or revocation of visas. Applicants are now required, in many cases, to provide access to their online accounts during the visa review process. This policy has already discouraged some students, professionals, and researchers from applying for U.S. visas, fearing that political opinions or association with controversial groups could jeopardize their eligibility. Anti-Semitism allegations and impact on students. The administration has also linked immigration eligibility to views on foreign policy, especially positions on Israel. Officials have instructed immigration officers to examine whether applicants or visa holders engage in rhetoric or activism deemed anti-Semitic or contrary to U.S. support for Israel. Universities and student groups have been among the most directly affected. Some international students were accused of anti-Semitism or even providing indirect support for terrorism after participating in protests against Israel's military operations in Gaza. Student visas revoked in large numbers. The consequences of the crackdown are already being felt. The State Department disclosed that approximately 6,000 student visas had been revoked since January. Of these, around 4,000 were tied to alleged violations such as criminal charges, driving under the influence, or accusations of extremist sympathies. In April, hundreds of student visas were suspended or altered, though many were reinstated later following international diplomatic pressure. Student visa interviews were temporarily paused in May, with new requirements added in June that forced applicants to disclose their online presence. Balancing security with openness. Government officials insist these measures are necessary to protect U.S. citizens and national interests. They argue that constant monitoring prevents individuals with harmful intentions from slipping through the cracks. For the administration, this approach is central to its broader immigration agenda of prioritizing security above all else. Yet critics warn of unintended consequences. Immigration lawyers point out the ambiguous criteria for what constitutes anti-American activity create opportunities for misuse. Universities worry that talented international students may seek opportunities in countries with less restrictive policies, damaging America's role as a global hub for education and innovation. A new era of immigration enforcement. With more than 55 million visa holders now under review, the United States has entered an unprecedented phase of immigration enforcement. The combination of continuous vetting, social media monitoring, and political criteria represents not just a legal shift, but also a cultural one. While the administration defends the crackdown as essential to national security, critics caution it could erode civil liberties, stifle dissent, and deter global talent. The video signals a new era of strict immigration enforcement with far-reaching consequences. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful for you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Trump orders review of U.S. visa holders records 55 million immigrants face deportation risk. The Trump administration has launched an unprecedented review of over 55 million U.S. visa holders, subjecting them to continuous waiting throughout their stay. Visas can be revoked for or restrict criminal activity, security threats, or support for terrorism, with a deportation as a consequences. The policy expands to social media monitoring targeting anti-American sentiment, anti-Semitism, and extremist views. International students have been particularly affected, with 6,000 visa revoked since January, including for alleged activism against U.S. foreign policy. Critics warn of free speech suppression, confusion, and loss of talent, while officials defend the measures as vital for or safeguarding national security.